Okay, first art chat of the spring semester of 2022. We have Anna Maass from Mexico City. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to turn you around. We have a much larger class today. We have 32 students in here instead of 10.
Wow. Okay, that's a big crowd.
Yeah.
Love it.
10 students are mine, and 22 are Katie's. So here we are.
Yeah. Hi guys.
We go this way.
Wow. Okay. Lots of students there.
Yeah, we go this way. Yeah, there we go. But right here in the middle are the my students mostly. Okay. So we'll forego any sort of introductions and just get right to it, if you don't mind. Oh, where's Alicia?
She couldn't make it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm perfectly 100% happy with you. It was just a bonus.
Yeah, no, she had to work somewhere else. So I asked her, and she said she couldn't make it today. But perhaps you can invite her some other day.
Sure thing. Well, let's start it off with tell us who are you?
Who am I? Okay. I'm Anna, as Robbie told you already. I've been painting practically my whole life since I was 2 years old. I come from an artist family. My whole family paints. From my grandma, who was a really, really good portrait artist. She was invited to the Met in New York, and she was a really, really great, renowned artist internationally. She had 7 children, all 7 children, including my mom. They all paint. They're all artists. And then my mom, well, she taught us different techniques, including watercolor, oil painting, acrylics, which is my main technique. And she had 3 kids: Alicia, who's also a portrait artist, myself, who I paint mostly animals, as you saw on my Insta feed, and Alejandra, who's a photographer. I majored in graphic design here in a university in Mexico City, but nobody could take art from me. So right now, that's mostly what I do. I paint. And yeah, that's a really, really fast intro about myself. I don't know.
What do you mean?
You have any questions, or you want to start with something?
Nobody could take art from you.
No, they tried. They tried to. I'm an Irish dancer as well. I danced for about 15 years of my life. And I worked in that as an Irish dancer, as a teacher, a costume designer for the academy for a really, really long time. But I always came back to art. I worked as a graphic designer as well, but no, I kept coming back to art, to paint. And that's actually what I do right now. Yes.
Well, I think the obvious first question is, have the 2 Irish step dancing and painting, have they merged?
How they merged?
Have they?
Have they? Well, not really. Maybe not as in painting, but as a costume designer. Maybe the art is somewhere there. I designed every costume for 100 students for every show. So from scratch. So I had to sketch the costumes and then make them happen, no? With a ¿cómo se llama? Sewing machine. So yeah, so that's about as close as it got.
Gotcha.
Merging. Yeah. Sorry if my English is not that great. I'm a bit rusty. So if you don't understand anything I'm saying, please let me know, and I'll try to explain myself better. Okay.
Yeah, it's all you.
I have a question. So, like, why did you choose graphic design and not just like an actual like art major thing? Like,
Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, many people ask me that. The thing is, I have an art school at home. With my grandma and my mom and all my aunts into painting. They really do know everything about what is to know about art and the different techniques, from how to make an exhibition, an art show, to the different techniques, to how to deal with clients. So my art school was really home. And I thought I could grow as a professional artist, knowing more about something else. Graphic design helps me to be a better artist. So for example, every time my webpage, for instance, I know how to make a web page and how to make different graphic things related to my art and my profession, because I studied graphic design. Graphic design wasn't something I could learn at home. So yeah, that's basically why I decided to study something else, not what I already knew or could learn at home. Yeah.
I have a question. So how does living in Mexico impact your art?
Well, it's great living in Mexico. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. It's very art friendly. There are many people who really appreciate the art because of our culture. We are really surrounded by art, from street art to indigenous art, and it's a very rich culture. So I guess from that richness and the colors and the people around me, maybe that, I don't know. I guess that everything influences in my art. But I'm actually moving to Miami in a couple of months, so hopefully I won't lose that. Did that answer the question, or?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Well, it may not have to do with your art, but what's prompting the move? What's the Miami move?
Uber Eats. My husband works at Uber Eats, and they're sorry, Uber Eats.
They all understood. I didn't.
Okay. Yeah. So he's been working at Uber Eats for 2 years, and they're asking him to move to the Miami offices. Gotcha. So I think we're moving this summer. So yeah, it's gonna be a big change, but hopefully will not negatively impact my work. On the contrary, I hope it enriches my vision. I'll try something new.
okay, I have a question.
Yep.
Why do you paint animals instead of humans?
Oh yeah, that's a really, really, really good question, and a really easy question to answer. I'm in love with animals. They're my obsession. I'm actually a vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for 15 years. So I think every artist paints what they're inspired by and or what they love. So I really do love animals, every kind of animal from insect to elephants. I really like them. So I'm inspired by them. I'm challenged by them because although it's really hard to paint humans, animals, as you can see, horses here, have a very, very hard anatomy to portray in a two-dimensional, ¿cómo se llama? Well, in art. So yeah, I do paint humans, but not as much as I paint animals. I guess it's the inspiration and my love for animals. Yeah, that's pretty much the answer.
It was a bit comical whenever we were looking at your website and how it was broken down, and one of the tabs was portraits, and so we went to portraits.
Yes.
And it's a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, when I was designing my webpage, my husband did the exact same thing. He was like, "Which portraits? I didn't know you had portraits." I was like, "What? Of course I do. You've seen me paint them." So he went into the portraits part, and he's like, "Oh, dog portraits. You should really explain there." And I haven't gotten to I haven't gotten to change the animal portraits part. But yeah. I should really do that. Yeah, I have to upload more portraits because I think there's only one portrait uploaded to my webpage. Well, dog portraits. That I really do that a lot. Dog portraits. They ask me to paint them. So yeah, no people portraits. Alicia, my sister, who couldn't be here, she's the portrait. Well, and my mom. They really know how to paint people. Not me. I'm not that inspired by people. Yeah, but yeah, it's really, I know what you mean. My husband had the same reaction.
So, do you have a favorite animal to paint?
Oh yes, horses. I think it's the common denominator in my book. Horses. I'm actually I'm gonna do an art show before I leave to Miami, and it's gonna be horse art exhibition. But yeah, I really like the anatomy of a horse. It's really challenging, but I think it's the most common subject I paint. I think horses and dogs probably. Yeah, those are my two favorite animals to paint. I'm getting into cows lately, but yeah.
So I have a question. It's about your family. I was actually wondering because you said all your siblings were ended up becoming artists.
Yes.
So was there anything that your family did or like in the environment at the household or whatever that produced so many artists?
Well, yeah, we spent most of our time in my grandma's house, and she painted all day. And they had this, her art studio, and then there was this like another art studio. It was a really big house. Actually, Mrs. Burnett, Katie, was there once. I don't know, Katie, if you remember.
Yes, and I still
was,
have a painting that your mom made me of us.
Yes, I did remember that. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, we had like this other art studio where they taught art to kids, and whenever we went to my grandma's house, we could grab any everything there: art material, pencils, color pencils, acrylics, watercolors, paper, canvases, and it would be like our playground. So we really grew up in a very artistic environment. And well, I guess that's what made us, well, become artists. And I really can't, I don't have a memory of not knowing or not being around, surrounded by art. Actually, I, when I was little, one of my aunts was well, she put an art piece on the floor because she was, I don't know, I think framing it or something. And I decided I want to be part of this art piece, and I grabbed some charcoal and started scratching the art piece with which was charcoal. And yeah, so, and she just lived it. She just, I don't know. She was mad. I remember she got mad, and then she found it hilarious. I wanted to be an artist as well, so she was like, "Okay, fine, just do whatever." So yeah, I think that's why us three became artists. Ale not so much. Ale became she studied ¿cómo se dice?
Dinos en español.
Architecture. No, diseño de interiores, interiorism. Yeah, in Fort Lauderdale. And then she became a photographer, but she's a really, really good photographer. It's art related.
I have a question. So I don't know if you have kids or don't or plan on having kids or anything, but like, would you like with your like family like want to instill that same like environment of art with them?
Yeah. I have one baby girl. She's 8 months. And yeah, she would be definitely surrounded by the same art environment. Yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't push her to be anything she doesn't want to, or she's not drawn to. Maybe she's more drawn to math or science or whatever. And if that's the case with her or any of my future kids, then I mean, I wouldn't push them to be artists. But they will surely grow up same as me, with grandma and my sisters and myself in artists. Yeah, probably she'll end up being one as well if she wants to. But I won't push them to.
Anna, a phone has been being passed around the room, showing your Instagram page, and we're getting lots of oohs and ahs. And is that all paint? And whether so? I know that with my class, that we were interested, and you and I had talked about interested in your process. I know you have some work behind you that you were going to maybe show us. Do you mind? Could we move into that? See where that goes?
Of course. I mainly paint with acrylics. That's my favorite technique, as I told you guys before. The reason I chose acrylics is because it's very it dries really fast, and I like to paint fast. I don't like to spend lots of time in one single piece. For example, oil paint is super slow to dry, so it'll take you forever to paint something with oil painting. So acrylics is the midpoint of oil painting and watercolors. So you have with oil painting, you have to dissolve it with a, I don't know the aguarrás. I don't know the word in English. It's not water. And oil in acrylics is very watery. First, I start with a very abstract background. You've seen in some of my pieces, probably they all have dripping effect. So with a very big brush, I soak it in water and a little bit of paint, and I start with a background. If you can see, it's really. So, can you see here, or not really?
Yes.
So here you can. It's very light because I haven't painted all that much of the background, but this is how it starts, with a really soft dripping and very watery, very watery effect. And then I start putting more and more. Can you see? I don't know if you can see here. More and more paint with a drier brush. And to give more effect to the dripping, I use a spray with water, and it's even more texturized with the dripping and enriches the background. Now the figures, figures. It's the same process. I start with dripping. I start with very abstract, ¿cómo se dice? Manchas. Katie, help me out.
Places, like
Smudges.
like you, what's it called? When you stamp something, like.
Look, I'm gonna show you really fast. Right here, I have a very, very watery paint. And here, can you see? Okay. Okay, so I start not very realistic at first. Can you see it? Because I can't see what you're seeing.
Yeah, you can see.
Okay, so see here how it starts dripping, and I just let it literally drip. And that's how that's how drips begin. And I just let them flow. And you start giving like the effect you want. First with one single color as a background. And once it dries, I start with more paint, drier paint, until I use only, like, practically only, ¿cómo se llama? Only paint, no water. And I start like coloring, sort of. Look here. I'm gonna paint here. See how it doesn't drip anymore? And that's how I start giving some more it becomes more real whenever I start using less water and more densified paint. I don't know if you call it densified. Sorry,
Did you say densify?
See, yeah. Very more. See, densified. Is that?
That's a word.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Más densa. So, sorry, I'm thinking in Spanish and trying to to put it into English words, but I'm not sure if I'm
You're doing
explaining
fantastic.
myself. Okay, so I start like this, very watery, and then I start with after this I start putting more color, less watery, less dripping, but I already have these drips, which will make the background. Sometimes I'll cover them. Sometimes I dry them, so it's more texture. And yeah, that's pretty much my technique. I like to call it dripping and dry brush technique. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, I like to use a very sometimes charcoal to give a more free, sketchy effect in some of my pieces. Not all of them, definitely not all of them. And I have to put, ¿cómo se dice? No, well, yeah, I can't paint over the charcoal because it runs, but that's why I don't use charcoal in all my pieces. Just some of them. Yeah. What else? I started as actually, that's one of my first pieces. Okay. This is. I forgot I had this one here. So cute. So cute.
I love that.
Yes. I was young when I painted this.
How old were you? ¿Cuántos años?
How old are you guys? 17?
Yeah, 16, 17.
Okay, well, about your age. Yeah, so it's more unrealistic topic, theme, but yeah. I forgot I had this one here. But it's practically the same. It's also acrylics. I think this is the piece I started with acrylics like more seriously. But yeah, this was a long time ago. Actually, you can see it has a different signature. It's different. It's from a long time ago. This one doesn't have dripping. I discovered dripping when I was, like 25. But for that, everything had to be almost as perfect as I could paint it.
And was that influenced by your
Mom.
your mom? Okay.
Oh yes. Actually, if I'm gonna show you. Do you have access to Instagram right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Robbie, I'm gonna send you my mom's.
Okay.
Just a sec. Okay. If you can.
I got it. All right, everyone. Let's go here. Spread. Where did that go? Come on, come on, James. Help me out, man. All right, everyone. Go. Go there.
Yep.
Yep, we're getting there.
Okay.
What's wrong with? Oh, your phones are in her closet. Ah.
Buddy up.
Okay, here you go. Look. Pass around.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so pretty.
She's a great artist. Yeah. She uses mainly watercolor. But you can see the influence on me. Like she likes to paint animals as well. She's a portrait artist, but she loves animals. And yeah, she calls her art realismo fantástico, a very like realism with fantasy. So yeah, that's why my dog has a huge bow and.
So you're the looseness that you started to acquire was like almost like you were given permission by your mom in seeing her work. Is that what you're saying? Is that you were structured at first and then you got looser, or is it backwards?
No, definitely. I got structured. Yeah, my early works. I try to make them as real as possible, and with very plain backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't ready to explore textures and backgrounds and, as you say, loosen up myself. And that is yeah. And then as I gained confidence in my art, I guess I started to loosen up and try different textures, try different techniques, and yeah. So definitely started by something very structured, and right now I already have my own technique, my own style. And yes, I think the painting animals have definitely was an influence from my mom. Now that I think about it, not that much from my grandma, but from my mom. Yes, definitely.
Anna, is there a photograph nearby of a mallard duck, or do you work free or books or what?
No. I usually, if I don't have access to, for example, mallard ducks, and I'm asked to paint mallard ducks, then I go on the internet and buy, find a picture I like and buy it. I never use pictures I don't own or I don't take.
Mm-hmm.
I usually take the pictures I paint from, but if I don't, as I said, if I don't have access to what I'm asked to paint, then I buy the picture. Right now, this one is from a bought picture, so I always have it on my computer. That's why I base my everything I paint from a picture. Yeah. I can't show it to you because I'm using my computer right now.
Right.
It's right now on my computer. Books, I don't really use that much because I can't zoom into books and I can't zoom in my computer. If I want to, for example, the eyes or especially in horses, I have to zoom into the face because it has lots of it's very muscular, so you don't want a horse to look weird if you don't paint the muscles right. So I have to zoom in the picture, and I can't do that with. I'd had to print lots and lots of pictures zoomed in, and that's not eco-friendly at all.
Okay, I have a question. Do you paint pictures that your sister takes?
Sorry, I didn't hear you well.
Do you like paint the pictures that your sister takes? Ever?
Ah, yes. When I make portraits, when I usually when I'm asked to make a dog portrait or a pet portrait, I ask my sister to take pictures for me. So actually, yeah, but that's about it. My sister really doesn't really take pictures of animals. She's more of a baby kids photographer, nature photographer. And yeah, animals are not her thing. So unless I ask her to take pictures for my portraits, then not really.
How much would one of your larger paintings sell for? Like the horse one?
The horse one, in dollars, I'll tell you. I know in pesos, but I'll tell you right now how much in dollars. A ver. About like $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my big format, like the horse, big formats. The smaller ones, of course, it goes from $200 to 6,000.
So the portraits that people ask you to paint, like the dog ones, like would those be like?
Yeah, the dog ones are really small. They're like 30 by 20 centimeters. And it's ahorita te digo 5,000, about $300, and but it's a really small format. Yeah, it's not a large one. So yeah, the price depends on how many figures, the how large or small the painting is. If you want, for example, this one here, I haven't given it to the owner, but this is actually a portrait of a friend who asked me to paint his horse and himself. So yeah. So this is medium size. This actually could go to the portraits part of my webpage. Now that I think about it, that's a portrait of a person. So if you want a portrait, it's harder to make, because you have to make it look like this person. So yeah. If you want someone who it's not necessarily,
Because animals
doesn't necessarily have to look alike, then it's gonna be cheaper, because it's not as hard. So yeah, the prices go up and down depending on many things.
So, I think my favorite that I've seen, of course, is the row of cows.
Oh yes, that's a favorite. It's
Yeah.
my favorite too. I have it hung on my living room.
Well, that leads into my question: is the portrait of your friend to your left?
Yeah.
It's definitely refined more than the cows. I also thoroughly enjoy the row of chickens and the rooster.
Yeah.
They're very similar. in that you've decided where to give more definition. Is that decided ahead of time?
No.
No.
No. Actually, I started with that. You've spoken to lots of artists, right? I don't know if they've told you that artists change of technique or of topic or inspiration every now and then. Robbie, you would know. You're an artist yourself. So okay, one year you start painting very realistic, and then as you move on, as you grow as a person, as an artist, as you have different things affecting your environment, your personal life, that will affect your art as well, right? You can see for example, in Picasso's work, he started as a fine artist, like a really realistic artist, and his personal como environment or his personal life will impact his to go from something super realistic to cubism to something more abstract to his blue period, his rose period. So I think not that I'm comparing myself to Picasso at all, it's just the first artist that came to my mind. But I think everything affects the way you paint and the technique you use and the colors you use. So if one year I feel like painting super realistic animals or backgrounds or whatever, maybe because of my personal environment or my emotional status, maybe next year I'm gonna feel like painting something more free, more loose. Yeah, that's what happened with these horses and the cows. Okay, actually it started with the chicken one, the rooster you mentioned. I was very decided to start. I actually started that painting very realistic with the rooster, and then I liked the way it was turning. Ay, ¿cómo se dice?
Turning out.
Turning out. Thank you. Turning out with a more abstract feel. So I decided to leave it that way, and I liked it. And then I went and painted the cows, but yeah, with that mindset already. You know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do more dripping, and I'm not gonna finish the cows from this point down, and yeah, but that one was decided. The chicken one, no.
You find that the portraits that you have commissioned, do they give you? I mean, they're coming to you, Anna, because they like your work.
Yes.
But well, your friend right there on the horse, did he request it to be more refined, or could you have used a drip, or was
No,
it?
I think. Well, it depends on the client.
Yeah.
If my client likes, he would tell me, okay, I like this technique, I like this type of background, and I like this type of figure. Okay, so he would approach me and say, okay, I really want my horse and myself to look like us, but I like the more the abstract background. And then the client who asked me to paint this the mallard ducks, he was okay. I like the mallard. I would like the mallard ducks to look like mallard ducks, but I like the subtle abstract background with the dripping like the cows. Though it really depends on the client. Sometimes clients go like, go for it, you're free. Whatever you'll do will be fine. And so yeah, it really depends on them. Not much in me, unless it's for an art exhibition and I'm painting them for myself and to sell to whoever. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Did that answer that question?
Absolutely. Because I was, I didn't know. Well, it kind of went from when I said that my favorite was the cows, and then you said that was hanging in your living room. I thought, well, I hope it's not because that's my favorite. And I hope that it's not that you don't get to have that freedom on the.
You want to see? It's
of course.
Just a sec. Let me go downstairs. And you guys will meet my husband and my baby girl, probably.
We heard her earlier.
Mira.
I did.
Okay.
Háblanos en español.
¿En español?
Sí.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? So cute. So cute, I'm gonna die.
Dile, hola.
Mira, ¿cómo le vamos a hacer?
No sé. No.
Yeah, they can see it.
Exacto.
Wave to the baby.
¿Quién es?
No, pero espérate. ¿Quién es? No, he wants to grab my computer. But no, okay, you can see the cows there.
Sí, yo sé. Ah, okay. You can get an idea of the size. My hand is about like 10 inches long, so it's quite large. Still missing how do you call the frame? The frame. Then down here you have a beautiful Virgen de Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is not painted, to be honest. Anna knows the technique. It's not.
But I didn't think that.
Okay. But it's from the family, so it's okay.
No, I have like a whole museum in my house. This one's my mom. Well, painted by my mom. That's me, actually. That's when I was 15 years old, about your age.
So wait. So that was you painted at 15, and the painting that you did upstairs that had the kind of the head ribbon thing.
Yes, I was about that age when I painted it.
Yeah, so it's quite similar. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning
this little pig was my dog, and my mom decided it was gonna be a pig.
Ah.
Yeah. Look. Hola, polvo.
Oh. Have you painted your dog before?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting to take a really good picture. This one here is from my grandma. That's me as well. But yeah, this was painted by my grandma. What else? I have lots of paintings around my house, but you get an idea of my family, my family's talent. Gracias. Perdón. But yeah, there you go, the cows.
So your husband just almost took kind of a dealer's posture in talking about your work. Is he? I know he's Uber Eats, but does he also play a role in the business?
Yes and no. He likes to promote my art. With friends, family, people he knows. So he usually puts one of my latest work on. He's doing home office because of the whole COVID thing. So he usually puts the latest my latest art piece on as his background when he's working and video conferences. So yeah, that's why he knows all the details.
Yes.
He likes to promote my art. He's really nice. That's why I married him. Well, not only that, but he's really nice. Right now he's doing he's on his paternity leave, so he can be with Regina, our daughter. That's why he's not working. But yeah. So do you have another question or something else you would like to know about my work, about my family, about anything?
So, like, I know you do portraits of like all different sizes, but like on average, how long does it take you to do one?
It depends on the not only the size, but the theme, the figures, lots of things. But for example, this one here, that one would take me about a month to paint, maybe. But in hours, I paint like 6 hours a day, and not every day will be 6 hours. Sometimes I only paint for 3 hours. Sometimes I paint for 8 hours. It depends, but more or less from 2 weeks to a month.
And then, do you ever like overlap your paintings? Like you work on multiple ones at once?
No, never. I like to start and finish one piece at a time, because then I have to put my whole mind into the one I'm working on, because then it's my mind would have too many tabs open. Actually, that's why I decided to quit the Irish dancing, because I was dividing my mind into too many things, and I couldn't concentrate in one single thing. That's how my mind works. So hopefully, I would like to work on different things at a time, but I can't. I find it really hard to finish something if I do that. Yeah.
Good. Okay. I think we've reached our limit.
Okay.
On time. We have a few more, and then the Spanish class has got to leave the building.
Okay. I should have spoken in Spanish a little bit more.
Well, we've got 3 or 4 minutes, so that's what I was gonna say. Do you have any questions of us? But that's perfect. You can ask the Spanish class questions in Spanish.
Muy bien. Me gusta.
español 2, o sea que solamente tuvieron como 1 año y medio de español. No
okay. Okay. Voy a preguntar algo. A ver, ¿alguien de ahí quiere ser artista? ¿Quiere estudiar arte?
Oh, 2 personas.
Ah, muy bien. Ok, me gusta. ¿Y quieren estudiar arte en Luisiana o en otro lugar?
¿Quieres estudiar en Louisiana o en otro lugar? Un dice no Louisiana, otra dice sí y Will. ¿Dónde quieres estudiar? Bonus points right here. No sé. Okay, dinos en inglés.
Yes.
Dice sí.
Sí, sí quiero. Ok. Yo casi estudié arte en Canadá. Estuve en Canadá 2 años.
She almost studied art.
En Ontario University of Art and Design. Entonces, if you ever, it's a really good art school. So you should look into it. Muy bien. ¿Qué más puedo preguntar?
Yo tengo
¿Hace
una...
frío?
¿Hace frío?
Yes.
¿Está nevando?
¿Está nevando? No. Nunca. Nunca.
Nunca.
¿En
Luisiana, ¿no?
No.
Ah, bueno.
Una vez, como hace 3 años. Una vez.
Ah, bueno, no. No nieva. Ok.
Ana Laura, yo tengo una pregunta para ti.
Ana Laura.
Ajá.
Mucho que nadie me dice Ana Laura.
Ah, de verdad. Solamente Ana.
Ana.
Oh, wow.
Creo que desde que te conozco nadie me dice Ana Laura.
Eres Ana Laura para mí.
Yeah.
¿Puedo visitarte en Miami?
Por favor. Y yo
Gracias.
en Luisiana.
Sí, estoy en Luisiana.
Sí.
Gracias.
Sí. That would be awesome.
Ajá.
Really looking forward to. Muy
Did-
bien.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
See you later.
Oh, hey.
Bye. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
Yes, it was delightful.
Sorry, some of my art terminology is not that.
No. It's fantastic. It was good. We were all attentive. The stories were great. It was wonderful to hear all about you. And I will be in touch because I see no reason why we wouldn't include your
Sure.
mom and your sister and down the road. So
That would be great. I'm sure they'd love to.
okay.
But yeah,
Wow.
anytime.
And I will send you. I'll send you a link to the video. I think you already saw. Took a picture in process. So thank you for being our first. And
Thank you for
you're
inviting me.
You're welcome. And this was good. Now you just have the art class here. It was like,
Okay.
oh yeah, group picture. Hey, we're gonna
Guys.
look. If you see yourself right here projected. So
Yeah.
we're going to stand alongside you over here.
Okay.
Or I will. I'll get it, Brennan, and you can. Yeah, and I'll take a picture of them with you.
Pretty smiles, everyone.
No, y'all don't get in front of her, or like, and you don't want you should bend down maybe in front of Caroline. So you don't
Brennan,
want the
just-
light.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry guys,
No.
it's just like the lights.
Just do that. Photograph us.
No,
No,
you gotta
actually.
move.
You are in the light.
You're like in the light. Just
move
the
the
table.
Yeah.
You're shorter. Okay.
Oh yeah, that works.
She's taller.
Really
That's
good.
good.
I don't know where
Y'all
to
can
go.
get under.
Oh,
You
yes,
can,
I
like,
know.
also like.
I got told to squat.
I'm so tall. Let me get the back.
Megan knees.
All right, and uno, dos, tres.
Yay.
Gotcha.
Bien.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Go be with your family. Thank you.
Super, Ravi.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Bye bye.
Bye.